Hey guys, today I'm going to share with you how to make baked garlic butter chicken and potatoes. This garlic butter chicken and potato skillet is a simple one-pan meal that has tons of flavor. It has tender seared chicken thighs and potatoes that's baked in a garlicky, lemony, buttery broth, and it's so simple and so delicious. So let's get started. So a couple months ago, I did make a lemon chicken and potato recipe using chicken breast, and it came out so good that I wanted to make a chicken thigh version because my son loves chicken thighs. But instead of cooking everything over the stove, I'm gonna sear the chicken and let it finish off in the oven. So first things first, we're gonna go ahead and make our rub for our chicken. And I'm using smoked paprika, but regular paprika will work just fine. I'm gonna go ahead and use 1 teaspoon of this. So we have 1 teaspoon of paprika, and then I'm gonna use 1 teaspoon of dried oregano. This rub is very easy today, guys. I'm using 1 teaspoon of everything. So now I'm gonna add a teaspoon of garlic powder and a teaspoon of onion powder. And these are all ingredients that I always have in my pantry. Paprika, oregano, garlic powder, onion powder. I use them a lot. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and mix the rub up. All right. Okay, so for the chicken, I usually buy my chicken from Costco, and sometimes they're really small, sometimes they're big. These are kind of large in size, so I have about 5. So I use about like 5 to 6, if they're really small, 7. So yes, depending on how large these chicken thighs are will determine how many I'll be using. And I did remove the skin. If you guys have been watching my videos, you guys know that I always remove the chicken skin. I'm not a fan of chicken skin, but if you are a fan, go right ahead and leave them on. So I'm gonna go ahead and season them on both sides with salt and pepper. And then I'm gonna sprinkle over our rub. So both of my boys are at summer camp, and it's nice because the house is nice and quiet, but it's only for 3 hours. They get out at 12. So I came home and I'm like rushing to make this video. So by the time I pick them up, they can enjoy this meal. So it's just me and the dog today. Okay, so now that the chicken is all nice and prepped, I'm gonna go ahead and work on our potatoes. And this is a really hearty dish that everyone is going to love. I mean, who doesn't love chicken and potatoes? But this is not gonna be plain old average chicken and potatoes. It's gonna be so delicious once we add all the garlic and the lemon and the butter, and trust me, it's gonna be fantastic. So here I have 2 potatoes, and as you can see, they're very different in size. I usually buy them by the sack, and sometimes I get really small ones, sometimes I get really big ones. And I had 2 left in the sack today, and this is the size that I was left with. Yes, I feel like this is almost like 2 potatoes. It's so big, but we'll just eat more potatoes today. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and give them a dice. Okay, so we're almost ready to head over to the stove, but I wanna go over a few other ingredients that we're gonna be needing. I have 8 cloves of garlic here. I know that's a lot of garlic, but I want this dish to have that garlicky flavor. If you think that's too much garlic, you could definitely add less. I have some minced onion, I have some chicken broth, I have a lemon that I plucked from my tree, and butter, the best ingredient. Anyways, all right, we are ready to cook this up. Meet me over at the stove. Heat oil in a pan over medium-high heat and sear the chicken. I'm gonna sear the chicken the smooth side down for about 4 minutes, and then I'm gonna flip each piece and cook them for another 3 minutes. No need to cook the chicken through at this point since they'll finish cooking in the oven. So I've removed them, set them aside, and added more oil to the pan, and now I'm gonna saute the 2 diced potatoes. I'm also going to add in 1 diced onion and 8 minced garlic cloves. And with all this garlic, after it's been cooked down, it actually doesn't taste like super overly garlicky. It has the perfect right amount of garlicky goodness. I did cut the potatoes into bite-sized pieces just because I prefer it that way with this recipe instead of like huge chunks of potatoes. I'm just gonna add a tad more olive oil along with 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika and 1/2 teaspoon of dried oregano, same spices that we use for the chicken. And I'm just gonna saute this for about 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna transfer it to the oven to finish cooking. I'm also going to give it a good seasoning of some salt and pepper. Just a quick reminder, if you're new on here, to like and subscribe to my channel. That will really help me out a bunch, and also you won't miss out on next week's cooking video. Now I'm going to add in 1 cup of chicken broth and 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. And I'm going to give everything a good mix so that everything's nice and combined. And also check your seasonings if you need more salt and pepper. Now it's time to return the chicken pieces back to the pan. You just want to kind of nestle each chicken piece into the sauce. I'm going to bring everything to a boil, and then I'm going to add my favorite part, which is 4 tablespoons of butter. And this is going to make our sauce really rich and delicious, along with the garlic and the lemon juice. And now we're all set to transfer it to the oven. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, and I'm going to bake this for about 30 to 35 minutes until the potatoes are nice and tender. And after it has finished baking, it looks like this. Comfort food at its finest. Oh my gosh, it looks so good, you guys. And this is a classic chicken and potato meal that has received an upgrade. Hi!
Hi!
Okay, so my kids are back from camp and they made it in time for the taste test. And I pulled it out of the oven. The chicken is incredibly tender. The potatoes are fork tender. I have to show you guys a close-up of this, but it's looking so good and nice and brothy. Like the butter, it makes this like delicious sauce. The butter mixed with the chicken broth and everything. It just looks really good, you guys. If you want to add more lemon, I only added about 3 tablespoons, but if you want to add more after you cook it, feel free to add more. Okay, so moment of truth. Look how isn't this tender? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right? Look how tender it is, and you love chicken thighs. Yeah, you love chicken thighs.
What's your dark meat?
A little close-up so you guys can see how tender the chicken and potatoes are. And we are hungry. We're not even gonna get a plate here. We're just gonna go straight from the pan. Got you a piece. Get me a piece. Cheers. Mmm, isn't that flavorful? Mm-hmm. Mmm, let's try potato. Potato.
Called it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Tell them how you feel about this dish.
Me? Mm-hmm. It's tendery. And
chicken is tender.
The potatoes are kind of like mashed potatoes. It's delicious.
And the sauce is so yummy, right?
Yeah.
Garlicky, buttery, a little lemony, right? Mm-hmm. If you guys want to make some veggies on the side, that will go well, but the potatoes and the chicken, you don't really need another like carb to go with it because the potatoes. All right, we're gonna enjoy this for lunch.
I'm gonna spend Aaron with these crackers. Okay.
Okay, me and Aaron are gonna eat straight from this pot and enjoy this for lunch. I'm just kidding. But anyways, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Yeah. Take care.
Bye. My 3rd time using a knife.